Hello, welcome to the Kidney Kitchen. Today we are cooking gołąbki. These are very iconic. They're a Polish speciality. They're stuffed cabbage rolls. What's great is they're really easy and simple to make, and you can make them up in advance and then just heat them when you want to eat. So I've got a medium heat going on underneath this pan, heating up some vegetable oil into which I'm going to put the carrot and half of the diced onion. So I'm going to fry the carrots and the onion for about 10 minutes to really soften the onion and get just the lightest sort of hint of colour on it. Now we're ready to put in the tomato puree and the sugar. And we're just going to cook this for about 1 minute. Now for the tinned tomatoes, the water, bay leaf and a little bit of black pepper. And now I'm going to simmer this for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to boil the rice. I'm cooking it for half the normal time, so about 5 to 6 minutes, because it will finish off cooking once it's in the parcels themselves. And now to drain the parboiled rice. Now, that sauce has had 10 minutes simmering away and it's lovely and thicker and it's just smelling fantastic. So now I'm going to boil the cabbage. This is a Savoy cabbage, and I've said you can either sort of have one if it's a decent size, or if you have little ones, just do a couple. These leaves, once the whole cabbage has been boiled, we're going to peel them off and use them to make our parcels. So I've got a big pan of water on the boil, and as soon as that's bubbling away, I'm going to pop this whole cabbage in for about 5 minutes, trying to keep it as submerged as possible. That cabbage has now had 5 minutes boiling away, so I'm going to very carefully remove it from the water. Now, you can either plunge this into some cold water or run cold water over it. This is to stop the cooking, lock in some of that colour and stop the leaves from going mushy. And then tip it upside down to really sort of drain the water out. I can then sit it on a few layers of kitchen roll to dry off a bit before peeling off the leaves to start making up our parcels. Now to make the filling for the parcels. I've got my parboiled rice, which is going in. I've got the other half of the finely diced onion. This is raw. Bit of black pepper. And some minced beef and some minced pork. That's the beef, that's the pork. Now, the best way to mix all of this is with my hands. So I've washed my hands and I'm going in. So the reason that hands are the best tool for the job here is just to really get both the meats completely combined with the rice and the onions, so that you've got a completely well combined filling. So this cabbage has had the water run over it and it's been drained, so it's cool enough to handle, and I can peel off those leaves nice and easily. The key thing is, by boiling the cabbage, not only are the leaves supple enough that they won't snap when I do this and when I bend them around to make the parcels, but also by boiling them it's leached out a lot of that potassium, which is what we want. And I just carefully remove them. The outer leaves tend to be a little bit easier. As you get to the centre, they can just take a little bit more careful handling, and the key thing is, while removing them, not to tear them. The smaller the leaves, obviously, you might find that you can't quite get as much filling in. So I've said about 50 grams of filling. Certainly for the large leaves, that's no problem, but with the slightly smaller leaves, obviously a bit less is fine. You just play it by eye a bit. So I'm going to measure out 50 grams of this filling in a little dish sitting on the scales. Once you get an idea of how much that is and what it looks like, you can do it by eye. So I'm going to pop this ball of filling in here and then fold over from the bottom and the sides. You want it to be as tight as possible but not tearing it, and then what you have there is a nice neat looking parcel that I can put seam side down on top of the sauce to cook. I'm now going to cook these over a low heat for about 45 minutes. So these will come up to temperature, the sauce will bubble away very gently, and what we want is for the insides, the filling, to be piping hot throughout. It's very, very important so that the meat is absolutely cooked. Also, the parcels will soak up all the lovely flavours from the sauce, and then they'll be ready to serve. Here we have the parcels cooked through and piping hot, all ready to be served up. And this really is essential, it's a very important part of a lot of Eastern European meals, is a dollop of sour cream and a good sprinkling of fresh dill. There we go. Delicious. Here we have the gołąbki ready to eat. Hi Laura,
Hi.
Do you want to give this a go?
Yeah, they smell amazing. Thank you. Really good. Nice to have sort of a different dish from another country.
Yeah, it was really interesting doing the research, and this definitely came out as something that is a pretty iconic dish and very much loved, so I hope it will go down well. Really important to have a good dollop of sour cream with these things. It seems to be the general
The way it's done.
Yeah.
That's a really nice flavour all through the meat, the sort of mixture of the meat in there. It's a really nice high protein dish, which is fantastic for somebody who might be having dialysis because they need more protein to replace what's lost during the dialysis process. But then because you've got the rice in there as well, so it gives you your carbohydrate, so sort of good energy, and then just looks so healthy with the tomato and the cabbage, and yeah, a nice balanced meal, I'd say.
Good. And listen, it's easy to do, and you can do it in advance and have it waiting if you have been having dialysis and you come home and heat it up. So
yeah,
it works well like that.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And
a little bit more.
We'll finish this off.